Probably how he wanted it to. You could see why he picked certain players in certain positions, Frank.
Yeah, and as a manager, there'll be nothing as fulfilling as that. When you make calls that maybe could be questioned, a right back and left back, you tweak the system. I don't think any of us quite expected Phillips to play advanced like he did in the first half. Probably man of the match in the game. So I just think from Gareth's position, he can look at it now and say, there's something about this group. What I ask of them, the energy that they've got, that kind of bit of attitude and arrogance that they seem to have in a good way that I'm not sure we've had in our group for a long time. With this atmosphere around and this crowd behind them, they can do something.
There was huge pressure, by the way. Once the teams came out, you looked on social media, even us in the stadium. Oh, why is Trippier playing left back?
Why is Grealish not playing?
Yeah, why is Grealish not playing? Sterling got his 13th goal in 17 games, by the way. Right. He's someone who can be trusted in an England shirt. Yes, club form might not be there, but in an England shirt, Gareth's got people who he can trust. He's tried, and listen, this team's going to go.
I said that before the game, Rio, when Terry Venables thankfully stuck with me. I was still for Blackburn, but I'd never scored for almost 2 years, and there was a lot of people shouting for me not to be in the team, and I get and understand that. And I think that was similar to Raheem today. I'm not saying he's going to go on and score a load of goals, but that decision today took a lot of courage, and Gareth knows him. He knows him. He works with him. He's seen him in training, and Raheem never let him down, and Gareth has stood by him today, and that's a decision that's worked really well.
Well, let's hear from the goal-scoring hero for England. Here's Raheem Sterling with Kelly Summers.
Raheem, you grew up in the shadow of Wembley, and you've just scored the winner in the opening game of the Euros. How good does that feel?
Yeah, it feels good, to be honest with you. I've always said if I played at Wembley at a major tournament, I'm scoring at Wembley, my back garden. I said I have to score, and it's great to finally do that.
Talk us through the goal as well, because you think this season you haven't scored as many as you would have liked here, but you certainly score a few for England.
Yeah, honestly, there's a lot of different reasons I haven't scored for my club, and that's totally irrelevant now. I'm here with England, I'm enjoying my football, and that's the most important thing, and I'm just happy to score.
And the goal itself was a lovely move. Talk about the inclusion of the role that Calvin Phillips played in it.
Yeah, brilliant. He kept driving with the ball. A lovely bit of skill to come inside, and a lovely weighted pass.
There's plenty of competition in the area of the pitch that you play in, but do you feel like you've justified your selection today?
Have I justified my selection? I'm trying.
And overall, how much of a boost does this give you going into the game against Scotland on Friday?
Yeah, it's great to get off to a win. That's the most important thing. We got off to a win. Now we've got the game to look forward to, and hopefully we go into that and win again.
And it ends a bit of a positive week, doesn't it? Because we've been in camp with you, and it certainly looks like you've been enjoying yourselves.
As I said to you, it's been a long season for me. I couldn't wait to get here. Couldn't wait to get started with England. I knew it would be a positive one.
And Raheem Sterling, MBE as well.
MBE.
Sounds good, doesn't it?
It sounds great.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, big smile on his face, and quite rightly so. Let's have a look at the goal. A terrific bit of play from Calvin Phillips, the first Leeds player to have an assist for England since 1999 in David Batty.
Yeah, listen, it was a fantastic run. We spoke about his position. Would he play alongside Declan Rice? No. Today, Gareth gave him licence to run forward, and this is a run. I love midfielders making them run into danger areas, dragging people across, but the run from Sterling from central area, realising where the space was, see him a little bit deeper than the ball there, makes a darting run, that pace, but then all about the timing of the pass, the timing of the run, and then the composure to finish.
There was a freedom about their play, wasn't there? The way he sort of came off that left-hand side, came inside, and Phillips pushing forward as we've seen him so many times, and Sterling makes that run. All he needs now is he needs the weighted pass to be perfect, and it was. And he got in there superbly well and stuck it away. It was an excellent
goal. You can see on his face what it means, Frank.
Of course, because Raheem Sterling's had a tough time at Manchester City this season, not been quite himself, but as Rio keeps talking about, he has produced at this level, and he will be in and around central areas. He won't play on the wing, and that's why he scores so many goals season after season. And I have to say the goal there was with the structure of the team at times. I think the midfield players playing high and the wingers being wide, sometimes it got a tiny bit predictable. The minute Phillips changed his position, the minute Sterling came off the line, and Foden and players like that.
And lovely to see that reception from not just the players on the pitch towards Raheem, but those warming up on the sidelines there. You can see Rashford and Grealish, so it shows what it means. They've got a togetherness, and when you've got a big squad like that, that's key, isn't it?
Yeah, togetherness. And what happens when you're in a squad situation like that, an environment when the culture's been created by Gareth the way it has been, is that they feel your pain. the players would know. They will know that he's been under pressure. They will know that Raheem Sterling's name been on the starting 11. People were calling for Grealish, etc. So to see him go in there, and I'm sure Grealish and the others will be patting him on the back saying, "Oh, well done, and you are a man that produces regularly in this shirt."
And it's probably important to say, the likes of Grealish, their time will come in this tournament. It's almost certain. In different, teams that sit, you want probably players like Grealish will open them up.
Well, I think that's exactly what will happen in the next two games. I think both Scotland and the Czech Republic will actually sit there and seek deep. So it might be that Gareth decides to change it, to bring one or two fresh legs in, because he can do that. He's got the ability, and that's the good thing, I think, certainly in forward positions. The number of quality players that we've got. If someone's not performing, then they know that they run the risk of not playing the next game.
Yeah, England have beaten decent opposition. I mean, people will say that, this, that, and the other, but Croatia obviously beat England in the semi-finals. They're World Cup finalists. They've got some of the best players in the world.
Yeah, it would be easy to put down Croatia. They didn't play particularly well, but they have threats and they can play. The major part of that game for me was how England pressed, how they made it hard for them to play, the energy they had. There was a desire about their play, and for me it was completely about England today winning that game.
Yeah, and I suppose the big concern going into the game was in the centre of defence, but they really never looked like scoring or troubling England, did they? I think Rebic had half opportunity, but that was probably the best that they could sum up.
Never overly concerned that England, once they scored, were going to lose that.
No, and I mean, it wasn't a game of many chances, to be perfectly honest, wasn't it? There was a Mount free kick I think we can have a look at that went very close to the top corner. The keeper may have had it anyway, but
Matt Mason has the technique to score that. When he tries to go on the goalkeeper's side, the goalkeeper doesn't move and it's just over the bar. But I thought Mason's performance all round was absolutely class. He for me is the best attacking midfielder in terms of pressing and jumping from midfield to win the ball back. He's doing it here in the second tee.
It's a remarkable all-round game, doesn't he?
Frank, is that taught, or is that something that's just insight? You just know, you have a sense of when to go.
I taught him it.
I thought I'd tee you up nicely.
When it came to Derby, he couldn't do anything. He's got the. As I said before, he knows the right moments to go. He has the work ethic, and he will run all day and give his everything. Again, that's why when you're playing that midfield, he has to play in this team like that.
And the other thing, England mixed it up a little bit. They tried to get behind the Croatian defence at times.
And I think that's really important, because we know that they can pass the ball well, but teams will be watching this and say, okay, they're not just a passing team, they can do that. And as I said, I thought there was an intelligence about their play where one player came inside, which then created the space for England to do that. So not only do they pose a threat with their passing and moving game, they pose a threat with their pace, because they can do that, and they've got willing runners with pace like Sterling to do things like that. And if they can find the ball in behind, which they did that 3 or 4 times, then other teams will look at that performance today and say, yeah, this is a good England team.
Do you know what I like about that is that it's gone away from, everybody's got into this culture at the moment of every ball's got to be 5 yards, 10 yard max, playing short ticky-tacky passing and following suit. Sometimes mixing your game up and surprising teams with that element there, the long ball, the runs in behind, really does surprise.
Against the high line, I guess, Rio. If teams are sitting, then it's different, isn't it? You've got to keep the ball and move the ball.
Yeah, and I think that's the added plus you get when you get a Sterling, you get a Rashford in the team, and then we're going to have different opposition. Someone like Scotland, as we spoke about earlier, may tend to sit back a bit deeper. Then you need the likes of the Fodens and the Grealishes to then to pick the holes from in little intricate areas. So different horses, different courses.
Yeah. Was there anything in the performance, any of you, that would have expected a little bit more today? A bit disappointed?
Probably only Harry Kane, I suppose. He looked a little bit slow for me. That ball that came across, I was expecting him to put it in the back of the net. But England, with playing well, didn't create that many chances for him to get on the end of. But I think other than Harry Kane, I thought everyone looked really sharp.
Yeah, and I wouldn't worry about Harry Kane.
No,
he's our man. And you know what? Save one today. The team played really well. To be a really positive feel about the group. Harry Kane will deliver when it comes.
Yeah.